What? Oh,
No, no, that's us and all our radio. We're on the internet, but you don't have a cell phone? Well, the cell phone is too. It's the most accurate clock you've got. You just need to get a new cell phone. Might have to. You thought they were just for talking on, didn't you? Bob, we're on the internet.
oh, hell, folks. We're pleased to be with you tonight. We were here last night. We're back again, and we're better than ever.
Especially me.
Is that right? I say, somebody says, how you doing? I said, pretty good. I said, I ain't pretty, I ain't good, but I reckon I'm pretty good. So I guess that goes for the show, too. We ain't the greatest in the world, we ain't the worst, but we're here. And we've been here for a few years. And we intend to be here for a few years longer.
Well, I hope so.
Well, I do too. I really do. You know, Lord's been good to me. He's kept me healthy. He hadn't been necessarily kept me wealthy, but he kept me healthy and in good spirits and thankful each day for the blessings that I receive. And I hope everybody else is thankful for the blessings that they receive.
Evidently, you don't get up early enough
For what?
to be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Well,
do.
you said you wasn't wealthy, and I know you ain't wise. You get up a little earlier, you might throw in the other two.
Well, I got tired. I got up early for years, but you know, when I got up early, I found out that it was the early bird that got the worm.
Who wants worms for breakfast?
Yeah, so who wants worms for breakfast? It was my philosophy exactly. So,
That's why I go to Rainbow Restaurant to get my breakfast.
oh, I'll tell you what, straight away. You know, I picked me a pretty good breakfast myself this morning. But then
I come to eat with you yesterday, and all you had was
and then Elizabeth
cereal.
comes up with this idea, says, I'm going to go down to Rainbow and get me a biscuit. I said, well, you ain't going down there and get a biscuit without bringing me one. So she brought me a biscuit back, and we had Rainbow biscuits. She had that for breakfast, but I had it for, I guess, brunch.
Brunch.
Yeah, brunch.
That's between lunch and breakfast, or
That's
between breakfast and lunch?
Between lunch and breakfast. Folks, welcome those of you on TV to the Wednesday night edition of Hub TV. We had a good little session last night, I thought.
Yeah,
And
pretty good.
we never did exactly get it straight about what our final caller was referring to when he just made a statement that I thoroughly agree with, that there's enough people meddling in my life to start with. I don't need anybody doing anything for me, you know, just stay out of my affairs. Or do you?
Yeah.
Or do you enjoy having them in your affairs?
I don't care whether they get in your affairs or not. I just assume they'd leave me alone.
Right. Okay.
I just figured out what's wrong with this setup.
There we go. Let me get this up here. There we go. Now,
Well,
how's
that's
that?
supposed to go over like that a bit. I don't have to look out behind that thing all the time. It still ain't right, but it's getting closer. We may unplug it here in a minute.
You still need to come over this way unless
I'm out of cord.
Unless you want to hide behind that.
They keep moving us around. I can't get enough cord to run things anymore. They keep moving things around.
Okay. Well, last night we talked a little bit about a number of things, and one of the things that we talked about was the coming election that we're going to have here in the city. We've already had a remnant election in the county. Just one county commissioner's seat was up for grabs. Somebody grabbed it away from him. So we do have a city council race coming. And I believe we got Wayne and Mike Stanfield. Are they the only two candidates for mayor?
Mayor, yes, sir.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Don't leave us a whole lot of choice, folks.
Well, we'll get into that later. Let them enjoy. Let them bathe in the sunshine right now.
Okay, let them bask.
Yeah, bask. That's it, bask.
What's the difference between bathing and basking?
Well, basking has got
no water.
Basking has got ice cream associated.
No water.
Yeah, but it's got ice cream.
Okay, all right.
You've heard of Baskin
You
Robbins.
got robins along with it, you know. So you have to have robins along with basking. But I guess basking is bathing without water.
I guess it is.
Yeah. I'll go with that. Somebody else might have an idea.
Kind of like dry cleaning.
Huh?
Kind of like dry cleaning.
Yeah, kind of like dry cleaning without the chemicals.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll let them bask in the sunshine here for a little bit and feel proud as a peacock. Let me tell you a good one.
Tell me a good one.
Tell you a good one about Mike. I mean, I won't go into it too much, but a man I know, he would give his neighbor's dog some food because he looked a little bit emaciated, and the dog would make his rounds each day and come up to his house to get him a little treat, get him a little bite to eat. The dog had some age on him, and as I understand it, the dog died, and he died up under this man's house.
Yeah.
And, of course, he wondered how come the dog quit coming to get his food until he started smelling the dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will get your attention.
So he called the city. He lives inside the city. And the city said, well, we can't do nothing for you because it's not killed out on the street. You'll have to do something with it. So being an enterprising person, he got the dog out from under the house and put him on the street.
Yeah.
All right. The owners of the dog saw the dog on the street, and they called the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
The plot thickens.
Not really. I don't know whether there was ever a connection made between the dog under the house and that, but they called the city. And guess who came out and got the dog?
Who?
Mike Stanfield.
And why did he come after it?
Well, the guy there that was there when he picked the dog up says, Mike, says, I believe you will do anything for a vote. He told Mike that, you know.
Oh.
That's the sort of thing Mike feels will endear him to the voting population. I mean, the fact that he don't know what's going on up there in City Hall ain't got nothing to do with it, but if he'll go out and get a dog, that will endear him to the voters in the city. I mean, the fact that he's got a dog man to do it ain't got nothing to do with that.
He's busy out there pointing over the hill.
All right, there you go. He's too busy in conference with the EPA.
He's looking a little closer to home.
That's the dog story for tonight. That's factual, actual.
Now, if we had a pony,
huh?
You don't know anything about any ponies, do you?
Pony?
Yeah, you got to have a dog and a pony story.
Well, I don't know. I can tell you a pony story about
Jack?
The kid come home, you know, still was looking at things, and somebody had given the young girl a pony, one of the grandparents, and they'd put him in the house, that small pony. And
wasn't one of them CNI ponies, was it? Wasn't one of them CNI ponies, was it?
So when they come in, the parents come in, there was horse hockey all over the living room. Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious, who has destroyed our living room? Well, then the little girl came in, she says, oh boy, a pony. So that's the different ways you look at it, I reckon. And I reckon, let me tell you something that's advertised for sale in the classified of the News Sentinel. And I've seen these things before. It's a pair of working oxen.
Where do you get a yoke with them?
I didn't say about the yoke, but you know, yoke. Most of the yokes they make weigh about 200 pounds. You know that?
I didn't know they were that heavy, but I know they ain't light.
You know?
Took a tree to make one.
Huh?
Took a tree to make one.
Right. I mean, they're usually made out of oak. You know, they're heavy. But see, I saw oxen work back when I was a young man. You know.
I've never seen that.
And they are awful strong. These are Hereford oxen, and they said they've been castrated. I said to myself, well, glad it wouldn't be an oxen that would be castrated. But the price was reasonable. Well, maybe we ought to buy them.
What's reasonable?
Well, they will work to a cart. They will plow. They will pull a disc harrow. They will do logs. They'll skid logs.
What's the price? What's the price?
I'm going to tell you just a minute. And they said that they also are good for show. They know how to stand and that sort of thing. I thought it was absolutely reasonable. $2,700.
That's buy a lot of hamburger.
You'd be buying a lot of hamburger, and if you got the time, you can do a lot of work with them. They are slow.
Yeah, but you ever try to hold a cow back?
Huh?
You ever try to hold a cow that's money up his mind is going somewhere?
Yeah, I have.
TV, hey. 566-6699, if you got any toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to tie a leash around Bob. I can't keep him still.
Well, you know.
I went down there his place. I called Ronnie to find him.
And did you find him then?
No.
Well, you called the wrong guy.
Well, I know that, but I couldn't get a hold of him.
Come on back. I'll be there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Start working on some toys there, Bob.
What?
Start working on the toys there, Bob.
Okay, all right, I'll do that, yeah. If any of you got any stuffed animals or things, especially those that'd be good for...
Now, wait a minute. We're talking about...
ages up to probably 6, 7 years old, something like that. Bring them down,
Bob,
I'll help collect them for...
We don't want none of them hunting trophies. We want them there artificial stuffed animals.
Don't bring no deer heads or bear heads, you know.
They can bring them down your place, we can pick them up, or we can bring them here at my place. Don't matter.
It's a good deal.
I just want to let you know we still collect stuffed animals and toys for kids for Christmas.
See you.
See you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, you know, we were talking a little bit last night. You've got this uproar about Todd Atkins out in Missouri, which is a state that borders Tennessee, about his comments regarding abortion. And if he had been smart,
he kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, this election...
Unless he's smarter than we think he is.
This election is not about abortion. This election is about saving our country economically, morally,
I don't see no use in volunteering information. You can't do anything unless you get elected. If you don't have to say something, don't say it. Unless somebody set him up, you know, the Democrats ran him for the office and got him elected. I don't know that he wasn't sent out to do something stupid like that.
Well, they probably did set him up, but what I'm saying, if it had been me, I would have said, look, this election is not about abortion.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't know that he didn't sell out to start with.
Well,
but
maybe. Hard to say. Oh, TV.
Evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, fellas, I want to bring up a subject here on that I read in the paper concerning the filming and recording of Board of Education meetings. Have you heard this one?
No.
Okay, the Board of Education, from what I can read here, has approved a policy that was passed by the state attorney general or mentioned or whatever. And what it says is that no one would be allowed to tape or film any of the Board of Education meetings. And the chairman of the Board of Education, Mike Orrick, was asked, now this is by the Journal Leader, asked him if this meant the media. And it says in quotation marks, nobody is nobody. Now, gentlemen, if you're not, I don't understand this. I'd like to get an explanation.
I can explain it to you.
Well, I've got me some three-letter words. Pardon, go ahead.
Well, the thing about it is, they know there's going to be a limited number of people have the time and the energy to go down there and watch what they're doing. And if they can limit the exposure they have, they've got much more control over overspending their money. I don't think they want to be scrutinized. I don't think they need observers. They have control of at least half of the press in this town, so they can pretty well control the message that goes out, and that's what it's all about.
It's very much the same thing down here at the county commission. They don't want to be scrutinized all that much. They've got complete support from the Life Lot Press and tacit support from the Christian Journal Leader. And the more they can limit your say-so and your involvement in their affairs, the better they like it.
Most of the people who observe those two meetings do it on Channel 12 or rebroadcast of Channel 12's coverage. If they knock that out, then it's only going to be what newspaper reporting you can get, and that is not the same effect as watching. I mean, you pick up stuff when you watch people in action that you won't find reported in print, just because there's just not that many words.
Well, gentlemen, I agree. And here's where I'm coming from. Is I'm kind of disgusted. I try to keep my mouth shut about as much as I can. But these people are taking away our rights so fast. Why don't they just declare that no one is allowed to attend any public meetings? Also declare that there's no such thing as public assembly. Just take away, if they're going to chip away at this First Amendment right, why don't they just take the whole thing and we just do away with it?
Well, their argument will be that you don't have a right to tape or record because there wasn't any, when the Constitution was written, the state Constitution, the federal Constitution, there wasn't any recording. So they're not taking anything away that was present at the original thing, but I'll bet you they don't work the candlelight down there. I also bet that they got their cell phones with them. They're doing text messaging. They've got that little voting screen there that they use. I don't think that they've got stenographers there recording the thing with a pencil. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they've got their own private recording set up there, don't they?
Yeah, they can. That's correct. They do their own. But the point now.
Well, now that becomes public record. Are we not allowed to have a copy of that?
I don't know what we're allowed anymore.
I think that's what we ought to be going after. If we're not allowed to record it ourselves, we are at least in partial ownership as the people. We own that tape that they have. We should demand copies of it.
True.
Well, if they continue on what they're doing here, this Mr. Orrick, he needs to stand up and tell us what no one means no one. And some of these other people that they're denying us our constitutional right. If they're going to chip away at it, like I say, why don't they just deny us the right to attend the meetings? Whenever we elect them, they say, well, that's it. We don't want to hear nothing else from you until next election. But anyhow, gentlemen, there's several things that we can have a little fun with. I asked a question the other day to get an opinion of what people, or opinion of Ninja Nun and her two assistants that breached the security at Y12. I was going to see what everybody's opinion
Well,
should be
you know,
done.
they fired a guard over there for that, and I believe Haller and Hilton Hill's gonna have the old nun that snuck in there on his program in the morning. So might shed a little bit of light on that then.
Well, I've read everything I can, everything I find in the paper, and I've been reading on it. And my understanding was that after they had got to the point, of course, they used the paint and spray and banners or whatever. But from what I read, and I don't know if this is correct or not, they had to call security to come and get them. Because security didn't know they was there or whatever.
Right.
The point was for them to be arrested. And my comment on the thing was, I think it's a shame if these people get prosecuted. I think that they ought to give them an award and maybe even declare some kind of a national holiday in their honor due to the fact that they may have saved this country.
Right.
By getting our security brought back up to where we thought it was to begin
right.
with. And let me ask you another one. Wonder if they did call, if they called security to come and get them.
I have a late breaking news alert.
Oh yeah, put it on us if you would.
I spoke to Mr. Jim Freeman if he was aware of anything like that, and he said that no, he hadn't heard anything about it, and that Boomer, who covers the meetings, had not said anything about it. So I don't know. You read that in this past Friday's edition of the Christian Journal Leader?
That is correct. It's on the front page.
Okay.
And it's under the big, large heading says, "Will media cameras be barred from the Board of Education meetings in the future?" And this quote is right at the last part of the first page, is where Mr. Orrick states that no one is no one.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for us.
Yeah. But anyhow, on the Ninja Nun,
yeah.
I heard, like I say, that they had to call security to let security know they was there. But what I would, if she did call, I would sure like to hear that. If they taped that phone call, I'd like to hear what the guards had to say or whatever when they told them to come pick them up.
Uh-oh.
Gentlemen, I'm sure that you got other callers there, and we'll stir this thing and see. We'll find out where people stand on this.
Right.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
See you.
Thank you.
TV.
Hey, Ron, Bob.
Hey, how are you?
I'm blessed. This is Lynn Anders.
Uh-huh.
And I just called to tell you that I really enjoy your show.
Well, thank you.
And, Bob, I'd really appreciate if you and Lucy call me when you get home.
Well, you're welcome.
Call her when you
God
get...
bless you all.
Okay, I will.
See you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Evidently, her television has limited access to the cable or something.
Right. There you go.
Well, we'll find out about that. I don't know.
Well, you know...
that'd be right interesting, wouldn't it?
Actually, you know, with our government here, and I stand to be corrected, but this is my analysis of it. With all the connections that the school board and the school community has on our commissioners, they're either teachers, ex-teachers, or their wives or teachers.
Yeah.
They have some connection with the school board. That really the school board runs the county commission.
Yeah.
I really feel that way. And
no, they're
we're not
far and beyond everything else as far as funding.
We're not getting our money's worth. See, that's
No.
the problem of college-ready children. We are next to the bottom. Tennessee is in the entire United States, and that includes all of those ghetto kids up in Chicago and in New York.
If it wasn't for Mississippi, we'd look real bad.
Yeah, there you go. Mississippi's about the only thing that keeps us off the bottom, but yet we are spending a tremendous amount of our resources to further what we're doing wrong.
What we need is a new paradigm. What we've got, we're still teaching. We modernized our buildings, and we brought in some electronics and stuff like that, but we're still teaching the same way we taught back when all they had was a one-room schoolhouse. What we need is to realize that you don't have to have a kid in the classroom every minute to teach him something.
No.
And that they could outsource a lot of their teaching through the internet. And if this city wasn't so busy building walking trails and libraries that look like libraries, they wanted to spend that money and actually do something, they could have free Wi-Fi access throughout the city, which is done in other places. And I've always said that I'm not for city funding stuff like that, but if they're going to waste it on the library to look like a library, they ought to actually do something with the money. And instead of pouring money down that hole out at the lake,
Right.
starting phase 2 and more money are falling, we could do something about getting internet access, broadband to internet access throughout the county. We could link all our schools together. We could educate a good deal of our students at home, which would necessarily cut down on some of the expense in classrooms.
You have to realize here in this county, we have nothing for people to do here unless they are soda jerks, t-shirt sellers, unless they're putting gas in people's boats, mowing yards or something of that nature. We have no infrastructure far as manufacturing and jobs are concerned. And I lay the blame solely on those people who have run this county for the past 100 years. And we are exactly where we're at because it was designed that way, not because it happened. You know, they claim people in Campbell County, the reason we don't have any industry that they won't work. They don't have a labor force here. Well, you ought to go down on Jacksboro Pike, starting about 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, and watch this entire exodus of people from this area going elsewhere to make their living. And then naturally there's no problem for you to see it in the afternoon when they start coming home. I mean, they just feel the lanes coming back east on Jacksboro Pike, and they're coming home from working. And of course the good thing about that, when they get home, they're so tired from working and fighting the traffic, they don't have the energy
to go down and watch the school board meeting.
Go down and watch the school board meeting.
So if they can't watch it on television and can't get the whole picture in the paper, then that means that they won't know what's going on. They'll be completely satisfied.
So we need to, Dwight David Eisenhower, our president, warned against the military-industrial complex getting a hold of a lot of our resources in this country, which they have, and they do have a hold of a lot of it. But we need to worry about the educational factor in our country ruining us from a standpoint of not giving quality education, not giving the kids what they need here in the 21st century, and taking all the money they want without anybody being able to say anything about it. So we need to raise a little cane about what's going on.
I guess we've got enough people mad at us now. Let's do Dixie Concrete. You want to?
Well, I love Dixie Concrete. They come by my store. I meet them going out to my house. Good looking equipment. Going to deliver it.
Ugly drivers.
Right. Going to deliver exactly what's been ordered. Yep. Reputable, trustworthy, and they're very, very able to handle concrete.
They're solid as concrete.
They are solid as concrete.
Dixie Concrete and Digger. You saw his commercial there. He's out there grilling hot dogs there on the beginning of this thing. That's Wilson Gas. Digger's propane down there in the middle of Sawmill Holler, right in the middle of the road. 5625444 for Digger's propane.
And Digger's got all that mesquite and charcoal flavored propane. Mm-hmm. And I made a suggestion last night that with all the canning and the savings of food and cooking of beans and things of that nature with his propane, that he needed a propane that was flavored like fatback. And if you'll get him some fatback flavored propane, I think he'll stir up a lot more interest in using propane to can with.
Well, the good thing about propane is you don't have to chop it up, and it don't get wet and won't burn. It don't make a lot of soot and stuff like that. And electricity goes off, it still burns.
Yeah, burn. And I have a hot water canning outfit, and I also got a pressure cooking canning outfit. And I fire both of them, Digger's propane, and I do some interesting canning. You know, I'm getting ready to can up a bunch of spaghetti sauce. And if you will can your own spaghetti sauce, get you a good recipe. You'll never buy any in a can again. You only use what you fix yourself. And roughly what you do, you take and cut the ends off the tomatoes. You don't core them. You don't peel them. You put them in a blender, chunks, cut them up in chunks, put them in a blender, and until until you get all you want, keep pouring it in the big pot, and you make a puree out of it. Really, is what you do. The cores and the skin and everything else is just all comes out even, and then you put your recipe in there, which you can do kind of put what you want to in it, anything from parsley to oregano to garlic to I forget what all I put in, a little salt, maybe just a little bit of pepper, and you don't have to pressure can this. It usually has enough acid that you can warm water can it, but I wouldn't pressure can mine.
This is Julia Child School Cooking here. Is that right?
Well, we're gonna have Chef Bob.
Chef Bob. Well, okay. The Galloping Gourmet.
What?
TV.
Hey.
Hello. Seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, you do. Sorry about that.
Beats me.
Huh?
So.
Relative?
No. Bobby T, you're going to go over to Charlotte, what, 3 weeks from now?
What's over there?
The convention.
Oh, that's the Democrat.
Yeah, they're staying away in droves. I figured maybe you'd go over.
well, I might could go over and upset the apple cart,
Yeah, Biden's going to Florida. I figured maybe you'd go over to Charlotte.
They won't Biden at the Democrat convention. They gonna.
He's gonna unchain them fellas.
They gonna put Bill Clinton on there. He's the one that was always did so many fine things for the women. Monica Lewinsky and all them gals that he took under his wing. And
under the desk
right,
too.
Under the desk too. So you can always count on the Democrats to do good things for the women.
I must be a Democrat. I keep trying.
I keep trying.
So what else, Bob?
Well, I don't know. Is there anybody else I need to make mad?
No, I think you pretty well covered the county and the city and gone federal now.
Yeah, I do. I'm looking forward to getting back when they have the county elections and really get hot and heavy on the one that brought about this County Powers Act and brought it all up.
Well, we can't have them there signs sticking up here.
Huh?
Can't have them signs sticking
up.
TV.
Hey.
Hello.
Ronnie?
Yeah?
Hey, good afternoon. This is Mike Ork. I'm the chairman of the school board.
Yeah.
How are you?
Pretty good. Tell us if this is true.
Do what?
Tell us if this is true, that there won't be any filming or taping of the school board meetings.
Absolutely not. That comment was taken totally out of text. We review our policies annually, and TSBA had made a recommendation, actually with a policy that's been implemented by the legislators in Nashville, and that will not happen with this school board. All the media is welcome with cameras, and I had this discussion with Mike Savinsky
on Thursday, and Miss McCoy actually wrote the article that came out on Friday. So that is not true.
Okay. Does the article state that? I'm not read it, or was it just an inaccurate caller report?
Well, I don't know what the person that called in reported. You're going to have to tell me what they said.
Okay. Have you seen the report in the?
I did read the article, yes.
Did it say that there would be no taping, or was it?
The article read that during the discussion prior to our board meeting, part of the policy reads that no one is allowed with any type of media recording devices without board consent. And the person that wrote the article asked the question, what does that mean, no one? And typically no one means no one. But the Board of Education has the ability to approve or disapprove those cameras, and we are not going to ban those individuals from the courtroom.
Okay, well that clears it up, and I appreciate you calling.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Well, now,
Well,
did that signal?
It's kind of like them fire trucks running up and down the road. You know, when they have a fire uptown, they send them from Jacksboro, and when they want Jacksboro, they send them up down. You know, when the fire chief explained it to me, I understood it perfectly well. Now, this fellow here, he explained it to me, and I understood it perfectly well. Now, though, I see his remarks were that the board does have the right.
Does have the right, yes, sir. But that they had not exercised that right.
I understand that, but I disagree with that they have the right.
Well, you got to take that up to those guys in Nashville. We have a representative of the state to live
he
here.
Represents the state. He doesn't represent us.
Well, now we can't fault the school board for that if somebody else did it. Now, what we could be is really upset if they decide to exercise that authority.
Well, you know, if you can work it around where they don't have that right, then you don't have to worry about them exercising that right. And I don't think they
But we need to see the guys in Nashville for that. I mean, these guys didn't pass that.
What?
The school board didn't pass.
I understand that. I'm not picking on this school board. I'm picking on the educational people that passed this in Nashville.
Okay, now you're up the right tree.
Of course, I'm sure that Dennis Powers, as he has done ever since he's been down there, would stoutly and staunchly defend anything that the educational establishment does.
By the way, I wonder why he's not been to see us this year. He was here several times last year.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for Mike to come up and do his speech.
Well, yeah, we're looking for Mike Stanfield to come in, and we're looking for Dennis Powers to come in, and
maybe we ought to start.
One we can count on.
Who, Virgil?
Virgil.
Maybe we ought to start charging people for these little interviews, and that way we'll get more business.
Possibly.
Well, you know we never have blindsided anybody.
You know, put a little free plug in for people. Are you aware of the new restaurant that's going in down here on the corner right at First Street? Folks, you ought to go in there.
What are you worried?
It's nice. It's plush. They've got a terrific menu. The people are real friendly. They really have a nice establishment there. Now, the reason I bring this up, I just heard today that across the street, you know, where they tore the buildings down, that they're going to be bringing in a new McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I was just wondering if that would help or if that would hurt them. You know?
It'll help.
I think it will help their business also.
I would wonder, though, if the city is going to subsidize McDonald's in any way, if they might throw a little support across the road there. I don't know that they are, but I'm wondering if there's any sort of a sweetening deal in order to get them to locate downtown if this other little restaurant can expect the same treatment.
Well, they ought to give that when they just come in the same treatment.
That's what I mean, yeah. But maybe there will be no special treatment. I don't know. I know that those of us in the building business certainly didn't get the tax break that Lowe's did. Oh, TV.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad Mr. Ork called in. I'm sure I'd like to read the paragraph, the second paragraph of this, and he says he hadn't read it. So somebody, he's either the paper or whatever's not correct, but here's what he states. The only change to policy 1.400 is as follows. No one shall bring a camera, recorder, or other photographic equipment to board meetings without the consent of the board. At present, this includes both public and the media, unless amended, and they says unless amended by the school board, Campbell County Board of Education. Now, to me,
that puts the onus on the school board to actually specifically state that cameras are allowed, and rather than having to exercise the option of disallowing them if that's properly reported.
Well, if you read this thing, to my understanding, maybe I'm not interpreting this thing correctly, but it sounds to me that's what it says.
Well, it sounds to me like maybe they were given this option and maybe entertained that idea, and after kind of sniffing the wind, they probably decided it would be a good idea not to do that if they had any intention of doing it to start with. I don't think there's enough controversy goes on in the school board to actually merit that. I don't think that they would be the governing body that really be would gain by banning people's access. Now, the county commission would probably be able to get by with a lot more if they didn't have as many people watching them.
Okay. What you stated there is that there's not enough that goes on that you think they would do it. My point of view is they should not have the option to do it.
I agree, but now, as I understand it, that option was not delivered to them through their initiative, but from the state down. Now, who worked it in, who got it started is people we need to talk to. You also need to talk to your state representative and find out why they would go along with implementing something like that. And I think the key to breaking the whole thing is that they, in fact, all I have seen, every meeting I've been to, they had somebody up there taping with audio tape of the meetings, and that is certainly public record. Are we not entitled to copies of that?
Well, gentlemen, if we're restricted from these meetings, if we're restricted from recording them and whatever, it's hard to. Whenever you go to a meeting, a lot of times you're inclined to hear what you want to hear. Whereas if it's recorded and you can go back over it, you get you may pick up, and just like rereading this thing right here, the way I've read it and the way I interpreted it was that they were given the option and that they had to, kind of like the coach thing, they had to vote not to accept the option, that it would be
that's the way it read
placed unless they voted otherwise. Kind of like building codes, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't think any of our school boards or county commissions or any of the various committees that are offshoots of that should ever have the option to deny recording what goes on.
I'll tell you what, I have trouble hearing down there, but I can watch it on a replay, and if there's a word I miss, I can go back and redo it. I think that the recordings that we get, when they are of the quality that they should be, are much more informative than actually being there.
Right, I think so too.
I agree also, and also most people don't pay a lot of attention to the body language.
Yeah.
That's very important. Also, gentlemen, I'd like to make one other whatever here, and that is, from my understanding, the sales tax is going to be back on the ballot again this election.
No, that couldn't be.
No, it wouldn't do that.
Whenever we need to get somebody to come in and explain to us the division of how this money gets swapped around and to where to where it goes. I've still got a copy of the resolution.
Well, that goes to the school, and the school gives it back to the county, and the county gives a little bit of it to the road department, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a raise.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, if you get just fed up with this and just feel like you just need a ride in the ambulance to go to the hospital and take a long rest,
to relax.
you need to call Vital Care of Campbell County. They're found at 562-9370, and they appreciate your business, and they'll haul you in comfort and give you that there tender loving care.
And it will not have to put you up on the rollback to do it.
No, they won't do like Bob's buddy and let you roll down the road out the back either.
Been in business almost 40 years. When I see them going up the road, I know they're not spending any of our money, our government money, that they're operating as long as everything they're making money. Now, why is it that they can make money?
Because if they don't make money,
ambulance service costs
if they don't make money, they go out of business. And if they work at it, you know, they survive and prosper.
Right.
I think we need to watch what's going on in Knoxville, their ambulance service. We might learn something. TV.
Hey, Hazel Valley here.
Hello, Hazel.
How are you?
Hey, I got the lowdown on that thing about removing all them cameras and recording devices. That last caller started toward Nashville to a Davidson County Board of Education meeting, and they run that bill through the state legislature faster than a dose of soft sewer winter woman. And that's, he was the cause of the whole thing.
I figured he was. He's the one got him to hush down there at Jacksburg.
Yeah, and word got that he was on his way to visit a Board of Education meeting there in Davidson County, and better they ramrodded that thing through. I think our representative was in the bathroom or something when they did it, and they run it right by him.
Have you heard anything about this?
Just your show, you know.
Well, I hadn't heard about it. I have to confess, I didn't spend the best 50 cents I'd spend all week. I hadn't read it.
I get all my news now from Wild Bob and Ron. I don't
Go to FollyNews.com.
Well, you heard him.
Go to FollyNews.com. You can get a much wider spread.
Right.
That's a fact. Hey, let me give you a good one. Maybe Oric can call back in and respond to this. There was a slight increase in the TCAP scores this year, and the state board of body of education or Department of Education and all of the, you know, the local boards of education and departments of education, we're all tickled pink. Well, I got word from one of my hidden inside sources, a secretary that works at one of the schools told me the teachers were told to help the students this year.
Well, of course, they're supposed to help them to learn.
The teachers were not allowed to help the children while taking the test. This year, the teachers were told to help the children take the test. Now, my question is, why did they not ace the darn thing? Are our teachers dumb that they can't? I mean, you know.
Can't even cheat? I'm not getting into this. This guy
I
here, this is his opinion, not ours.
I was allowed to help them. I guarantee you they would ace the entire thing. There wouldn't be no slight increase. We'd all be jumping up and down.
You know, they had that problem down in Atlanta. They just made so much progress, they got suspicious.
I heard on Neil Boris today. Did you ever listen to him?
Sometimes.
He was talking about how they elected a sheriff in Clayton County, Georgia. I used to teach school down there. That was Jonesboro, Georgia. And they elected a sheriff that had 37 felony indictments against him.
Well, what's he doing down there? We've got Whitwelby with open arms up here. He could claim any county office we've got, and the city would just eat him up.
What's wrong with that, sheriff? Now they're finally getting it right in Georgia.
Yeah. They've been copying our trend. Buddy, we teaching the world. We're just a light of the world.
Come on, Clayton County, you got it right finally.
37 counts, huh?
37, not misdemeanors. We're doing
they got?
We
50
could
strikes and you're out?
we could put all our politicians together. I think we'd come up one or two short of 37 if we put all ours together.
Yeah, we see them and raise them at least 50.
Hey, we got a real interesting city race coming up. Our wonderful, beloved Mafia Godfather, Cliff Jennings, has got his lineup in there just perfect.
I want to tell you, I've got it figured out. When you vote,
I heard Bob Bannon's going to be out campaigning for Kidwell.
I've got it figured out because the way this works, after you get in office, you always stab your friends in the back. So I'm voting for Kits. I figure he'll turn on them other guys just like Mike did.
Oh, wait. Okay. Well, it's going to be real interesting there. I think Hansford's got Kidwell running against him. Bob's going to be Bob ain't got anybody running against him, so he's going to be out campaigning for Kidwell. That ought to be real interesting.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
good.
Great show, guys.
Thank
and
you.
I'll look for Orrick's response to the slight increase in the decaf.
See ya.
Wow, TV.
I ain't punched it yet.
TV. Hey.
Yeah, you guys sit there and, probably, to me, it's blaspheming the school board. But, I think we've got probably one of the best school systems in the state of Tennessee compared to what my kids have done. He graduated last year.
What did he do then?
But he's going to UT. He's up to par to any kid in the state of Tennessee. And, there's no way.
What's he majoring in?
Medical. He's going to be medical. He's going to be a nurse practitioner. And, this school here produces a lot of smart kids.
We're not downing the kids.
Instead of sitting on here talking about school board members and et cetera.
Let me ask you a question. What have we said about school board members?
Well, I mean, you're trying to, like talk about taping, and what good does it do to tape the school board meeting? You know what I'm saying? You think we should not keep up with what's going on? Well, if you want to keep up with what's going on, go down there and listen.
Well, what about people who are not able to attend? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to watch a replay?
That's, up to them. I mean, if they want to do a little replay.
Now, wait a minute. You can't replay something that's not recorded.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, there are so many kids that come out of Campbell County. There's the most kids come out of Campbell County this year with a 4-point grade average ever.
And I also guarantee that the kids that come out of Campbell County left Campbell County because there wasn't nothing for them to do here.
But they're going to college. Kids are going to college.
All we are is a farm club for all these other counties and states to provide them with educated people.
Was it a magnificent place, or?
Look, we're trying to improve what's here. You can't improve it if you don't know what's going on, and you won't know what's going on if you don't attend or can't see a replay from somebody who did attend. We've not bad-mouthed the school board at all. We just asked for access.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, there's not much to improve.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's why we have such great TCAP scores, I suppose.
Give them some credit. Don't set them down on them. Okay?
I give the kids all the credit in the world. I give the children all the credit in the world.
That's all I've got to say. Support them. Don't down it. See ya.
Well, now we've been informed, and I'd like to inform you about Ridge Runner Trucking in the few seconds that we have left, or a minute or so. If you need any heavy hauling done, Ridge Runner Trucking can do it. They're at 871-2410. Got them big old blue dump
big
trucks.
old blue trucks. They can haul your gravel. They can get your driveway in shape for the winter. And it's a coming. We probably have a rough winter this time. We haven't had one in 15
already
years.
Starting.
Huh?
It's already a starting.
Right. In 15 years, we're gonna have a right rough winter. And you need to call Ridge Runner Trucking Company. They haul your mulch. They'll haul your sawdust. They'll haul your topsoil. They'll haul field dirt for you, gravel, just whatever you need. And they've even been known to go get big old truckloads of those river gravel too, you know.
Yeah, and another thing, and just in case your truck breaks down and you need some parts, you got to go down there to Napa across from IGA. They're at 562-2429, no, 562-2629 or 562-9406.
Right. And they get whatever you need. If your truck breaks down, your automobile, or if you need one of those oil change specials where you get 5 quarts of Napa premium oil in your filter, for what was it,
19? You said 19.
1999. I just bought one, I forgot what it is, and it was so good that Elizabeth stole one of my quarts of oil, and I had to go buy another one.
You need to get a different. Companion there. She's stealing your oil.
Right.
TV.
Hey.
Yeah, tell Bob to call Katie.
Call Katie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just told him.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Now.
We'll do that.
Napa, NAPA, National Auto Parts Association. That's it. By the way, I don't think we said anything bad about the school board.
I
mean, we have been known to, but we didn't deny it.
No, we did make some statements that are true, that they have, I think, an unduly amount of influence on our county commission.
Well, I tell you what. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've got a son and a daughter that went to Campbell County High School. My daughter just graduated magna cum laude, but my son was in engineering, and he's in engineering, and he got about 4.0 plus in high school, and he encountered the same thing I did when I went to UT. You go in there at the top of your class. Now, I wasn't at the top of my class, but he was his. You go in there at the top of the class, comes from Campbell County High School in science and engineering and mathematics, and you compare yourself to the graduates from Oak Ridge High School, and you tell me that we are ahead of them, you just don't know what you're talking about.
That's true. Folks, we're going to be signing off here in a few minutes. We've enjoyed being with you. We look forward to being back again next week. And, we enjoy you calling in. We want you to understand us. We're not throwing off on the school board. What we say is just a matter of fact of what goes on. And
if it goes on in front of the people, the more people see it, the more input to have, the better it'll be for all of us.
Sure.
But I still would like anybody here that wants to challenge me can prove to me how any of our students compare in any way better than the ones coming out of Oak Ridge High School. Do that before you tell me that we have the best school system in the state. And I know that Oak Ridge has a much better resource and a much better parental involvement. It's not the school board's fault. But now you don't start making these statements unless you're prepared to prove them.
Well, I agree with that 100%. So